Something unusual is happening in Texas.
Company is not just coming, it's already here. Texas is leading the nation in population growth.
Despite high inflation, the Texas economy is doing well amidst looming concerns about a possible recession. New numbers released today show the unemployment rate dipped below 4% for the first time in 2 years.
Lots of people are moving to Texas.
Over the past few decades, millions of people have been moving to a specific area of the state. Cities are growing really fast, new businesses are opening every day, and the landscape is changing quickly. Welcome to the Texas Triangle. This region, made up of the big cities of Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin, is becoming one of the fastest growing and most dynamic areas in the United States. But what's causing this rapid growth, and what does it mean for Texas and the rest of the country? First, let's clearly define what the Texas Triangle is. Imagine a large triangle overlaid on a map of Texas. Its points are Dallas-Fort Worth in the north, Houston in the east, and San Antonio in the southwest. Austin sits right in the middle. This area includes 35 out of Texas's 254 counties and covers over 60,000 square miles. But here's the really surprising part. As of 2020, the Texas Triangle was home to nearly 21 million people. That's 68% of the state's total population packed into just 35% of its land area, and it's growing fast. Between 2010 and 2020, the Triangle's population shot up by 21.7%. That's over 3.5 million new residents in just a decade. So what's causing this massive growth? To answer that, let's take a look at some key data. First, let's look at migration. Between 2010 and 2020, Dallas-Fort Worth topped all US metropolitan areas in net domestic migration. Houston came in second. Austin and San Antonio were also in the top 10. This means hundreds of thousands of people from other states are moving to the Texas Triangle each year. But why? One big reason could be jobs. The Texas Triangle has become a hub for businesses, especially in tech, energy, and finance. In just the last decade, major companies like Tesla, Oracle, CBRE Group, and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise have moved their headquarters to the Triangle, and they're not alone. Over 50 Fortune 500 companies are now based in the region. This creates a cycle. More companies mean more jobs, which attract more people, which in turn attract more companies seeking talented workers. This completely breaks the idea that this area is just about oil and ranching. Now, every metro area in the Triangle, except Houston, has a remarkably diverse mix of employers. Even Houston, known for so long as the energy capital of the world, has a more varied economy than metro areas like Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, or Seattle. But jobs are only part of the equation. The Texas Triangle also offers something that's becoming harder to find in other big US metro areas: affordability. Despite its rapid growth, cities in the Triangle have managed to keep housing costs relatively low compared to other big cities. In 2024, the average home price in Austin was around $450,000, while in Dallas-Fort Worth it was $400,000. Compare that to $1.3 million in San Francisco or $950,000 in Los Angeles. This mix of job opportunities and affordability has made the Triangle a popular choice, especially for millennials and Gen Z looking to start careers and families. And listen to this. The Texas Triangle isn't just attracting Native Americans, it's also one of the top destinations for international immigrants. From 2010 to 2020, Houston ranked 5th and Dallas-Fort Worth 7th in net international immigration among US metro areas. This diversity has made the Triangle one of the most diverse regions in the country. But here's where things get really interesting, because the Texas Triangle isn't just growing fast, it's growing in a completely different way compared to other big US cities. Unlike densely packed coastal cities like New York or San Francisco, growth in the Triangle has mostly spread outward rather than upward. What does this mean? Well, let's take a closer look. The metro areas in the Triangle are remarkably spread out and have multiple centers of activity. Instead of one dominant downtown, each metro has several dispersed hubs and walkable neighborhoods. Take Dallas-Fort Worth, for instance. While downtown Dallas is still important for business, a lot of recent growth has happened in suburbs like Frisco, Plano, and McKinney. These aren't just places to live, they have their own thriving economies with business districts, cultural spots, and job opportunities. This polycentric development pattern is seen throughout the Triangle. In Houston, you have areas like the Energy Corridor and the Woodlands. In Austin, there are places such as Round Rock and Georgetown. This growth approach has had some interesting effects. Firstly, it has helped keep housing affordable. By expanding outward, the metro areas in the triangle have been able to add more homes to meet the rising demand. This has prevented the steep price hikes seen in cities with tighter geographical constraints, like San Francisco or New York. Secondly, it has created a unique political landscape. Instead of being dominated by one large city, each metro area in the triangle is made up of many smaller towns and cities, each with its own local government. For example, the Houston metro includes over 100 incorporated cities and towns, plus numerous unincorporated areas. This fosters competition among these places for residents and businesses, encouraging policies that support growth and investment in services and infrastructure. Thirdly, this development model has helped keep commute times and traffic congestion in check. Despite rapid population growth, average commute times in Triangle metro areas remain similar to national averages. This is largely because most people commute to nearby suburban job centers rather than needing to travel downtown. But the most fascinating aspect of the Texas Triangle's growth is how it has combined high productivity with relatively low costs of living. The Austin metro area, for example, has a cost of living 20% above the average for US metro areas. Dallas-Fort Worth is 14% above, Houston 9% above, and San Antonio 5% above. This is notable because it goes against the typical trend in many other large cities, where high living costs often offset the benefits of higher wages, as seen in places like California, New York, and Los Angeles. It's what we see and what we're somewhat used to. So, what does all this mean? Is the Texas Triangle just a unique phenomenon happening in this region, or perhaps a glimpse of a new urban development model we should consider for the years to come? Well, there are reasons to think it might be the second one. The Texas Triangle model, known for growth-friendly policies, outward expansion, diverse demographics and industries, and multiple local governments, is somewhat being adopted in other parts of the Sunbelt and Midwest. Cities like Atlanta, Nashville, Raleigh, and Columbus are seeing similar growth patterns. They're attracting similar residents and businesses as the Triangle. Raleigh, for example, is part of the Research Triangle and is gaining recognition as a great place to live with affordable living costs and opportunities. It's almost like it's competing with the newfound fame of the Texas Triangle. But going back to this model, we can't ignore some challenges it may or may not face. It's obvious to imagine that when a large influx of people settles in an area, it puts increasing pressure on natural resources, especially water. First and foremost, the environment is affected. Where there are many people and suburban development, there are many cars. And where there are many cars, carbon emissions increase. It's no small matter. The Triangle model relies heavily on having enough land available for development. As metro areas keep growing, they could eventually face limits to their expansion, either due to geographic restrictions or opposition from nearby rural communities. And while Elon Musk keeps saying that Earth faces a serious underpopulation problem, the truth is the bigger challenge is successfully accommodating a lot of people in areas suitable for that. Maybe we should solve that first before continuing to cluster ourselves. Despite these challenges, the Texas Triangle remains one of the most impressive growth stories in modern United States. While other regions struggle with affordability, congestion, and economic slowdowns, the Triangle's model offers a different view of how cities could develop in the future. Because what's happening in Texas today might give us a glimpse into how we'll live, work, and move tomorrow. And believe it or not, this story is still unfolding. Projections suggest that by 2040, the combined population of the Triangle's 4 metro areas could reach 40 million, making it one of the largest urban regions globally. What will the Texas Triangle look like in 20 or 30 years? We're not sure, but the Texas Triangle isn't just a group of cities in the heart of the Lone Star State anymore. It's become an economic powerhouse in its own right, reshaping not only Texas, but the entire urban landscape of the United States. That's all for our look at the Texas Triangle phenomenon. Thanks for joining me. If you liked this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. And tell me in the comments, what do you think about the growth of the Texas Triangle?